When I was in high school, I identified as asexual, and I was also pretty depressed, which aren't the same thing. And I would say that I was asexual and also was depressed. Depression wasn't the reason why I was asexual. I didn't have a model of how people would want to interact with each other in a loving and warm way. So I would say that was the more significant dimension to why I couldn't find that structure in other relationships. I also dated someone in high school, and I want to be mindful not to say the wrong thing. I have a lot of stories that I can tell about the time that I've navigated since high school, the time that yeah. I noticed that I use the word navigated a lot. I'd like to add more variety to my sentences. Telling this story has taken a long time, and I'm raising money to tell it with more resources. Cheers. I identified as asexual for about a decade, and I also came out to my parents, which might seem like it's not necessary, but also, so many of our relationships kind of imply being attracted to someone. It can be challenging to describe how much of our society, how many relationships imply that they're going to be impacted eventually by some heteronormative dynamic. So it was relevant, though not necessarily in actionable ways, because my parents didn't have a lot to say about the relationships that I was navigating. My family isn't a very gushy, physically affectionate type. I was attracted to the person I dated in high school, and recognizing how I recognized that is something that I can tell a story about. I want to be mindful to do the story justice. That's what I can say about that now. Cheers. Identifying as asexual was necessary because otherwise I would have been looking for a dimension of relationship that I couldn't really experience. Now I know that I can be attracted to people specifically, and it isn't necessarily that it takes a while, it's a relationship phase that isn't necessary. I'm not attracted to most people I meet, and if enough people, not even enough people, if you say that you're attractive, I'll believe you and probably have not much to do with it. Beyond that, our chemistry and the time that we want to respond to nature depends more on other dimensions. Before I had language to describe all of the ways that I could possibly be attracted to every person that I would possibly be attracted to, asexuality was helpful for helping me describe romantic attraction. Physical attraction is what I meant when I mentioned attraction earlier, but romantic attraction is possible, has been possible, for me at least, as someone who is not a romantic. I would consider myself to be a pretty romantic person, personally. That's why I'm telling this story. If you're asexual, you should know that you don't need to try to change anything about yourself, and there are a lot of dimensions to relationship. You can have relationships with people that don't include every single dimension of relationship. It is also possible to have a libido and be asexual, and you can navigate relationship with that. There are a lot of dimensions that intimacy can have, and not every relationship is going to have every dimension of intimacy. Cheers.